Okay, quick before this video starts. First, obviously, there will be spoilers. I will pretty much talk about the entire game, all of the boss fights, blah blah blah. So, spoiler. And secondly, I would definitely recommend listening to this while doing something else, like, I don't know, drawing or cleaning your room. Because watching me draw is boring. Okay, that's it. Hello there everyone. It has been quite a while since I made a video like this. Since I made a video where I am talking and a video where you watch me draw. I used to make these a lot, but then I just stopped doing them because I felt like people didn't care. And you know what, that's probably still true, people won't care about this video. But maybe you'll care a bit more because in this video I actually plan to talk about Persona Q2, the game that I just finished literally yesterday as of the time I'm recording this. So, I kind of just wanted to talk about it. I was originally going to script a video on it. I was originally going to make it, like, professional, kind of, but I kind of just don't like scripting videos. It's so boring, and I just don't like doing it. So I decided I'm just gonna do it unscripted. I have a screen on my phone open right now that has like points, so I don't like lose track of what I was going to talk about, but I am still going to just do this all unscripted. Alright, so let's start when this game was announced. I believe the existence of this game was announced like 2017 somewhere. I can't remember what it was. And for the longest time, we just got no information on this game. All we knew was that it is another Persona Q type game, and that it stars the Persona 5 cast because of the Phantom Thieves logo thing. So for the longest time, that was all we had. We didn't know anything about this game. And then in August of 2018, or somewhere they announced that in August of 2018, like early August, they were going to finally have some more pq2 news, and everyone was just waiting in anticipation for this. And oh my god, the bombshell that was dropped when the first official trailer for Persona Q2 came out. So it was revealed all the 3, 4, and 5 cats were going to be there, and the Persona 3 female protagonist was going to be there. It was fucking amazing. I like, on Tumblr, I just kind of watched the process just all unfold as everyone went absolutely ballistic. It was great. Those were like the greatest few days. I don't know. Okay, so, and when it came out in November, like, probably everyone was like tagging spoilers because it would only come out in Japan by then. But then they revealed that there was going to be a, like, quote unquote English version, but it wasn't really English. There was going to be no dub. It was still going to be Japanese voices, but there was going to be English subtitles. And everyone was kind of accepting of that. Like, apparently the game did really bad in Japan. I have no idea how it did here in America, but it apparently did really bad in Japan. So yeah. So, came June 4th. Well, it was released on June 4th, and I pre-ordered it. Or I had my mom pre-order it, because I'm not old enough to do that stuff by myself yet. And my game came June 7th, but I didn't play until June 8th because I had a banquet to go to for my band, my marching band. Okay, so let's talk about this. So, first, the game's aesthetic. I should mention that this video is mostly going to be like comparing it to Persona Q, a game that I also played at like late 2017, early 2018. And I'll have you guys know, when I played Persona Q, I knew next to nothing about Persona 3 and 4. When I started playing Persona Q, I had just finished Persona 5. I only knew vague things about Persona 3. All I knew was that the protagonist is an emo boy, and that he dies at the end of his game. That's why I chose the Persona 3 side when I played it. But yeah, I'll just have you know that. But now I know a lot about these games, so don't need to worry about me messing up my stuff unless I'm just a goddamn idiot. So, my first impressions of the game. It was very nice looking, just like Persona 5. It had kind of the same aesthetic. But I don't know what it is. It's probably just me. But the very first time I played the game, it like hurt my eyes a lot. Like compared to Persona Q, the colors just really hurt my eyes. I think it might have been because I started playing it after just a long school week of like studying for finals and stuff. And I have glasses. I wear glasses, but I only wear them really when I go out and I need them, aka school. So I always wear them to school. And then at home, I like rarely wear them ever. So I think it was just my eyes adjusting from not having that assisted sight that made looking at the game so painful. But I don't know. There was also something about the colors, but I think maybe it was just me having to get used to it. I don't know. It was weird. So anyways, once you get used to it, the game does look really nice. Okay, so something I noticed about also kind of the graphics, compared to Persona Q, the graphics sometimes get really bad. Like, I mean the quality, not like the art style. The art style is still really cute. I've always loved the Persona Q art style. And seeing it on the Persona 5 cast was a real treat. But sometimes the graphics get really blurry, and I can only imagine it was because the 3DS is, like, dying. Like, the 3DS is pretty much dead by the time I'm recording this. Like, I don't think 3DS games are ever gonna be made again. But, yeah, it might, like, Persona Q2 came, like, a little late to the party. A little late to the 3DS party. Like, I don't know. Sometimes the graphics go really bad and, like, the cutscenes, like, the models would be all blurry, or their faces. It might be just me who noticed this. But, I don't know, Persona Q always looked consistently nice, and that might have been because it was, like, released in 2014 when the 3DS was... I can't remember when the 3DS, came out. I swear I was, like, in, like, late elementary school or, like, middle school when it came out. But I don't know. I think it was because Persona Q came out when the 3DS was still a thing, that the graphics just looked nicer. Alright. So, something I liked that changed from the original PQ. You don't have to fucking pay to heal anymore. So, in Persona Q, if you wanted to heal, you needed to pay Elizabeth, who's like the nurse in that game. So you had to pay her every time you wanted to like fully heal, like all your HP and SP. And it would start with you having to pay 1,000 yen. And the more time you do it, the more you have to pay her. And I think the limit goes to 9,000. So I was... like, it wasn't really a bother to me. Money was never really... well, it was a problem for me in the beginning. Like, all games, money is, like, a problem for you in the beginning. But when you're way into the game, it just doesn't become a problem anymore. 9,000 yen's not a lot. But in this game, you don't have to pay to heal. When you go to the hub area or the lobby or whatever it's called, you're just automatically healed for free. And that's something I really, really liked. So, thank you, Persona Q2, for that. Okay, the game's difficulty. This game is a lot harder than Persona Q. And for me, that's really something because I, like, struggle with Persona Q because it was, like, my first Persona game I played. This game is so hard. Like, okay, so I started the game on the easy difficulty because I'm a weak little bitch. And I think during the second boss fight, I switched to safety because I realized I'm mostly playing this game for the story. Like, I am still having fun playing the game, but I'm mostly playing it for the story. And if you don't know what safety difficulty is, in safety difficulty, when your party gets wiped out, you have the choice to continue the fight where you left off, fully healed, which is quite a bargain. it removes like all challenge, because if you wanted you could just brute force your way through every enemy, but whatever. Okay, so I switched to safety during the second, like, once I died to the second boss fight, because the second boss fight is a piss take. Or I don't think I actually died. I think, like, before I took him on for the first time is when I switched to safety. Okay. Yeah, but the first boss fight, like, in Persona Q, the first boss fight is whatever. It's like a challenge, but, like, it doesn't make you want to tear your hair out, if that makes sense. The first boss fight in Persona Q2, you already have an enemy that has, like, you know those dumb boss fights where it's like there are multiple parts to it? Like, the first boss fight in Persona Q2 is like the Kamoshida. He turns into a bunny, has like carrots as weapons, and you have to get rid of the carrots before you can actually fight like him. And the carrots have like their own health bars and shit. I really hate that. And that was for the first boss fight. Like, I don't think in Persona Q that kind of gimmick didn't show up until the third boss fight. So I don't know, it was super hard. The second boss, oh my god, I wanted to tear my hair out because, okay, so you don't get it. Fucking Dino Yosuke, or whatever his name was, Yosuke Saurus, he turns into this thing. You have to fight him. It's feels, it's whatever. And during the fight, these little dinosaur lackeys or whatever, the people who are like pressuring him, they're like, hey, fuck him up. They're like in the background and they will attack you. And you have to defeat them. And at first I thought maybe like I can just deal with Dino Yosuke before I take care of these dino bitches. But no, you actually have to defeat them and then the boss fight will end. Because I remember I got Yosuke Saurus to like low health and he still wouldn't die. Like, hits that would surely have killed him, he wouldn't die. Which means that you literally had to kill the dinosaurs in the back for the boss fight to end. Which was whatever once I found out, but before then I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? And I actually died during that fight, but because of safety I was able to come back. The third boss fight is so annoying. So what this binge does, Ikutsuki, he fucking, I can't really remember off the top of my head. He will, this is exactly why scripting videos always turns out better for me. I always get to that part where freaking I cannot know what to say. Oh my god, I can't talk. He will, like, he's able to heal himself, for one. I don't think he does that until later into the fight. Oh my god, this looks horrible. But, he will, heal himself, which is annoying. And then, what you have to do is a ribbon. She'll, like, hack him or something. And Futaba is like, oh, in order to make him not recover anymore, you've gotta hit him with a certain skill, like, what was it, 20 times? And it was, so basically you just have to, like, stall him. Like, I could be using this, using those turns to actually, like, kill him. But instead, I gotta do this stall and shit. And he has that dumb skill, what was it called? I think it was called Denial, where he, like, just disables a random skill. I have no idea if there's any pattern to the skill he disables. At first I thought maybe there was some kind of pattern. But then after a few times I was like, oh, he just does this at complete random. The skill he chooses is just random. And it was so annoying because what I like to do is I like to have every element at my disposal on my team. So through the use of like sub-personas, I try to have every single element. And sometimes only one person on my team will have a certain element. Like, only Minato had psychokinetic skills. So when, like, imagine Futaba's like, oh, hit him with a psychic skill or something. And then the skill that Minato gets disabled happens to be a psychic skill. Then I won't be able to do anything. And I'll have to wait until Futaba tells them to use a different skill. It is so annoying, and I freaking hated that boss fight so much. I think I grinded a lot to even survive or something. I don't fucking know. The fourth boss fight wasn't actually that hard. Wow, if I even... Wow, okay. The fourth boss fight wasn't that hard. Okay, so it was Doe. So... The gimmick of his boss fight was that he has, like, eyes on, like, the movie tape surrounding him. And you have to, like, hit those eyes. Those are, like, his weak point. And, like, every turn he'll, like, change the location of where the eyes are. And he's actually not that hard to beat. If you have, like, debilitate or something, the fight actually becomes, like, a breeze. I was actually kind of surprised that he turned out to be, like, the real boss. Because it was, like, wow, bitch, you live like this? And then there is Enlil, the final boss. Okay, so Enlil, I don't think she was that hard. My wild level was 92 when I fought her. And I don't think she was that hard. She was more annoying, if that makes sense. Her animations, this is for, like, the final boss, like, not the pre-Enlil fight where she's, like, fighting in her human form. No, this is when she's in her true form. Her animations are so slow. I felt like I'd been there for years. Like, also what was really annoying is I kept using debilitate on her, and then she has, like, a skill that will, like, remove them, which made things really annoying. Goro is, like, my, kind of my healer, kind of my, stat person, if that makes sense. And, so he was, like, so low in SP, and speaking of SP, that's a point I'm gonna get into later, but I only had, like, Snuff Souls to heal SP, and those only heal, like, 60, and Goro has, like, 200, and debilitate's, like, what, 52 SP, I believe? So I, like, had to take turns sometimes where Goro just had to do nothing, and I had to, like, have someone or himself use, like, a Snuff Soul so that he can have enough SP to either use Meteor Rahan to heal everyone because I don't have enough time to feed them popcorn, or use Debilitate, which Enlil will end up nullifying anyway because she has that dumb skill, Dekunda, I think, where she's able to frickin' remove it. Something else about Enlil, she has that gimmick where, like, she will change her affinity every, I don't know, something turns. Probably, like, 3. Every, like, 3 turns, she would change affinities. Okay, but this part wasn't really that much. I didn't really care that much. I was like, oh, okay, she changed what she was weak to. Big deal, I have every element at my hands. I guess it was mostly the deal with her being super slow. Her attacks were so slow. And she had, like, a lot of HP. Like, I felt like I'd been there for freaking years. I feel like if I had just taken the time to grind to level 99, which I had tried to do, but I got bored and I just really wanted to go fight her right now. So I did do that. And maybe if I was max level, I would have gone through the fight a little bit quicker. But still, her animations are super slow. Okay, something about Enlil, I swear, she has no thing that belongs to her. This is kind of like this is more like a joking thing. This isn't a real criticism of the game. But I feel like there's nothing on her that's exclusive to her. Her second form, where she looks like Nagi but with red hair. She looks like Mitsuru. And when you fight her as a human, she uses a rapier. The same weapon as Mitsuru. Am I doing this right? Okay, she uses the same weapon as Mitsuru. Her kind of, how do you say it? Theme? Not really. Her kind of shtick about giving humanity what they want, giving them the ability to just not care about the world or something. It was really reminiscent of Yaudabath. And Izanami, kind of. What was one more thing? Oh yeah, her freaking, when you fight her in her true form, she has 2 skills that have to do with time, which I thought was kind of similar to Chronos from Persona Q. But for Chronos, he could only, like, stop time? I could be remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure he only had 1 skill that would, like, stop time, where he'd get, like, 4 attacks in 1 turn. While, and Lil, her only like time-related skills were either rewinding time or fast-forwarding time, which I thought was interesting, but I also thought was kind of funny that there are really 2 of these freaking people who they like have time-related skills. Okay, one more thing that I feel like she's like stealing from other things. Okay, so in pretty much when you defeat her, at this point when the battle just becomes entirely scripted. So basically when you defeat her, she will, this made me like this made me double take so much. It was so funny. I was like screaming. For me at least, she freaking erases you from existence. That was so out of the blue, completely out of nowhere, and I wanted to freaking scream because I was like, what in the world did you do, you thought? She freaking... And then she starts doing it to everyone else. I remember the order she did it in. It was like, first it was you, and then it was Goro, and then it was Akira, Minato, and then Hamiko. I find it kind of funny that Hamiko is the last one there because she's kind of the important person of the game. I have no idea if that was intentional. I'm pretty sure it's not. It's like random. Okay. And Hikari coming in to save the day was really sweet, I will admit. And that unison, that protag / wildcard unison was really cool. I was living. It was really cool. Okay, something else. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that boss fight. Just kind of me making fun of her copying people. You poser, you thought. Okay, let's talk about Hikari versus Rei. Here's where we really get into the kind of pq2 versus pq thing. Okay, so Hikari versus Rei. So, in case you don't know Rei's story, she is a girl who died, and the little incarnation of death created a world that was based on a school she wanted to go to, but she was never able to go to because she was sick and dying. I don't know. I don't really need to explain this. I'm just gonna hope you played PQ, or at least know PQ's story, so I don't have to explain this to you. Okay, so the thing about Hikari is that Hikari's struggles were kind of mundane, which is not a bad thing. They were realistic. Her struggles were really realistic about being, like, kind of pressure from other people to, like, not be herself, to just fit in with the crowd, which is definitely something I feel like a lot of people can relate to. Sure, it sounds kind of, it was kind of boring, but it's, definitely relatable, and it definitely seemed like she was on the verge of, like, she was, like, suffering from depression or something. And she had a trigger word, and just, I feel like her, struggles were portrayed really realistically. But compared to Rei, she was nothing. I feel like Rei's story was just so much more heartbreaking, and I guess I was just more immersed in Rei than Hikari, because maybe it was because Rei was, like, a party member, and this world was, like, exclusive to her, like, it was made for her, while in the case of the movie theaters, there are, like, a bunch of assholes there who are, like, dying. I don't know, I feel like I was much more attached to Rei than I was to Hikari. And don't get me wrong, I love Hikari. I loved her, and I always supported her, and I want her to do her best. But I just liked Rei more. And sure, you can't really relate to Rei. You can't exactly relate to, oh, I died and death created this world based on my desires. But yeah. Let's see what else I'm talking about. Alright. We're getting into a real tangent here. I mean, it's probably gonna sound bad because I can't talk. But, okay, let's do this. So let's talk about Minato. Why are we talking about Minato? Who gives a shit about him in pq2? Because the focus is on, like, Hamiko. Here's the thing. The focus being on Hamiko made me feel bad for Minato, my girlfriend and I. So this is something we kind of noticed. Like, Hamiko is more... We feel like Hamiko was more of a friend to C's than he was. And those were his own world C's. Like, okay, so the C's in this game are from Minato's world, so they don't know who Hamiko is. But I feel like they were nicer to Hamiko despite Minami not knowing who she is. And I know they explained, since Minato and Hamiko are the same person, they just kind of automatically feel attached to Hamiko. But still, it feels like they just treated Hamiko better than Minato. We notice how, like, for example, Akihiko will call Hamiko, but he'll call Minato by his last name. And I guess that made things less confusing for me, because I gave Minato and Hamiko the same last name. Their last name was Skrems. But we just found it really weird how Akihiko calls his world's leader by his last name, but he calls the other leader that he does not know of by her first name. And maybe this is a sign of respect, okay? Maybe this is a sign of respect. I can see that. So maybe he was, like, showing that Minato is clearly the higher power in his eyes, as he should be. But, like, Junpei, Yukari, and Fuka make an effort to, like, feel Hamiko welcome, which, again, is completely understandable because Hamiko came here alone without her world C's. You can tell I'm, like, barely drawing because I'm talking at the same time, but that's fine. You probably mostly came here to hear me talk and not fidget by making everything disappear and appear. Oops. But it feels like they were just nicer to Hamiko despite their leader literally being right there. Like, they barely interacted with him. There were barely interactions of him talking with his own C's. And it felt like they were just strangers almost. Which is a thing in, like, the original game. Like, Persona Q addressed this fact. They addressed that C's is more proper than the investigation team. And because of that, they just don't seem as close. Which becomes, like, a point where Yukari is like, you know what, everyone? We should all be nice to each other. Because we, at this point, are like family. And families are nice to each other. They aren't, like, strangers or something like that. I don't know. My Persona Q knowledge is kind of meh. I haven't played it in, like, a year. I don't know. It was just kind of something we, pointed out. And just over the course of this, my girlfriend and I just started feeling really bad for Minato. Like, the game expects you to have, like, sympathy for the female protagonist because she came here by herself and she feels isolated from everyone else. Like, she feels like that she doesn't have her own role because her role was taken by someone who is literally her. But I think in this process, she kind of just took Minato's role and just, like, stripped him away of his own team, if that makes sense. I don't know, it was something we found really funny, and we just felt really bad for Minato. Okay, let's talk about some unisons. So, the unisons were an interesting, addition. I mean, they, like... Is there any kind of, like, system to how unisons are, like, done, I don't know. They just sometimes kind of happen randomly in battle when I need them most, which is great. Okay, so there were like so many like missed opportunities for unisons, and like I know that there's so many characters. You can't possibly make you can only make so many unisons. I get it. I completely understand. But some of the unisons, I just kind of wish that they had been I don't know, that they had more opportunities, like characters or something. It's hard to explain. I saw a Tumblr post about it, and I'll try to like remember what I read on it. But take Naoto for example. Naoto only has one unison, and that unison is with Goro. So, like the person who the OP of this Tumblr post, they didn't really like how Naoto's only unison was with a character who is like a foil to her. Like like there should be more opportunities for her to like make friends with like other people instead of, I don't know, the people who I don't know, it's really hard to explain. Maybe I'll try to find the Tumblr post itself, but I don't really want to do that because this is my video and I don't really want to just read out other people's ideas into my videos. But it's just that. And there were like I don't know. There were so many missed opportunities for unisons. Like, going back on that point where we felt really bad for Minato, Minato doesn't get a unison until... when is it? I think it was probably in the 4th labyrinth, dungeon, whatever they're called, movie. I don't know. I still call them labyrinths. Even though that's not really the name of the game anymore. And his first unison was with you. And that's his only unison. In fact, other than Hamuko, the wildcard's only unisons are with other wildcards. Which I kind of felt was disappointing because it's so predictable. Like, you know, Minato's only unisons with you. Yu's only... and Akira. Forgot about Akira. He has a unison with Akira too. But, yeah, his only unisons are with those two other wildcards. And likewise, Yu's only unisons are with Akira and Minato. To protect shipping rights, but... And Hamuko, meanwhile, I believe she has a unison with every single one of Minato's C's. Minato's C's. Let's not forget that. It just felt really weird to me. I don't know. I love Hamuko. I'm glad that she got the chance to be in this game, but girl, how about you give other people a chance? You don't hog up all the, Jesus Christ, how do I draw this part again? Girl, you just don't... I don't even know. It's kind of a concept that you just kind of don't even have to explain, I guess. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. You guys can just click off this video if you want. Also, I can't draw. Alright. Okay. So, when we learned that Hamuko and Minato are going to be in the same game, and the trailer confirmed that they are in fact not like siblings, but they are like the same person, but from different parallel universes. I was really hyped on the Minato and Hamuko interactions, let me tell you. I really, really wanted to see them interact. I wanted to see what kind of what kind of story stuff would like happen from this. Would they find out that both of their parents died in a car accident? Would they both find out that they like music? They both wear headphones. I don't know. Them being the same person, surely they must have got along. I mean, despite their personalities, surely they would have like been friends or something. But I swear Minato and Hamuko had like 2 sentences of dialogue together, and that's it. I pretty much quoted that from something I posted on Twitter. Okay, but they had like 2 sentences of dialogue together, That's pretty much it. And sure, they shook hands in the epilogue, so that should at least count for something. Yeah, but that only adds what is it, 5 sentences that they've had together now. I don't know. It was something that I was really looking forward to when this game came out, and it ended up being really, really disappointing. Okay. The characterization. So, I didn't really have much of a problem with the characterization in PQ. I think it might have been because I was just so unfamiliar with the Persona 3 and Persona 4 casts that I was kind of just like, oh, okay. It was really only after I watched playthroughs of P3 and P4 that I was like, yeah, these are yikes. But at the time, I didn't really have a problem with it, and it didn't really it didn't really break my immersion. Is that the word? I don't know. Is that the phrase? But with Persona Q2, now that I've been such a fan of Persona for such a long time, and I'm actually familiar with the characters now, I have to say the characterization in this game is fucking shite. Once again, Akihiko is a protein freak. Teddy is a sex maniac or something. And I'd say it's toned down in this game, but it's still kind of bad. And something else that I will address as my next point. But the characterization in this game is tiring. And I think the Phantom Thieves characterizations were kind of fine. I didn't really have a problem with them except for Morgana. And this is mostly biased because Morgana is my least favorite Persona user in any Persona game ever. I hate him so much. I want him to get kicked off a cliff. And I just didn't like Morgana in Persona Q2. But I think that was just more bias towards him. Okay, I cannot get this mouth right. Okay, so continuing on the characterization point. Oh my god, that joke where the girls can't cook, it was Chie, Yukiko, Rise, Fuka sometimes. It didn't really focus on Fuka a lot. Oh my god, that joke where they can't cook is so old, and I am so tired of it. I hate that joke so much because they just love to use it, and they love to make the girls seem dumb because they think it's funny that they don't know that they're bad at cooking. I am so tired of that joke. I hate it so much, and I wish that Atlas would just let it go and actually make the girls learn to cook good. With Fuka, I'm pretty sure in her femc social, she actually does learn to cook, kind of decently cook, bake, whatever. But as we all know, that apparently that universe is not canon, so technically she never gets good at cooking ever. I don't know. I don't think I even realized that I hated this so much until I follow a Persona confession blog on Tumblr. And there was someone sent in a confession that was oh, the cooking joke with Chie, Yukiko, Rise, whatever, blah blah blah, got really old. And it was at that point my eyes were open. I was like, oh my god, you are right. I hate that joke. That joke is so old. So, Atlas, if you're watching, give it up. It's not funny anymore. Okay. This isn't really criticism of the game. Actually, none of this has been really criticism of the game that much, maybe? I don't even know anymore. Okay. So, let's tell a funny story about Minato and Hamuko's ultimate personas. Okay, so I believe it was I don't know. It was some day where I just kind of realized, wait, since both Minato and Hamuko have Orpheus, how are their ultimate personas going to work? Because, as far as we know, there is no female design for Messiah. But, like... So, like... I, like, said this to, like, my girlfriend, and we were like, huh, what would happen? And her guess was one of them would get Thanatos as an ultimate persona, or Thanatos. I think it's supposed to be Thanatos, but I always say Thanatos. So, her guess was one of them will get Thanatos as an ultimate persona, which was proven wrong almost immediately because she, looked in, like, the DLC section of pq2, and you have to pay $1.99 to get him as a sub-persona. So we were like, yeah, no, there's probably no way that he's an ultimate persona unless he is somehow both a sub-persona and a main persona. Okay, so we knew how the ultimate personas were unlocked. You had to defeat Elizabeth. So I ended up doing that first. I was determined. I had just got back from, like, an orthodontist appointment. My teeth hurt like bitches. But I was like, I really want to fight Elizabeth so that I can find out what happens with their ultimate personas. So, I defeat Elizabeth. And I was like, oh, here we go. We're gonna find out. It's the mystery. It was not any of our guesses. What were our other guesses? I think our other guesses were like, that they would design a female Messiah, which we doubted because Alice has never really put that much effort into something. So, we totally forgot Orpheus Telos existed. So Minato's ultimate persona is Orpheus Telos, and Hamako gets Messiah. And I think Orpheus Telos was DLC in Persona Q. I mean, it says on the wiki that he's free DLC, but I don't know if he's free now. It'd be cool, but I don't think he's free now. So, yeah, Minato gets Orpheus Telos, and Hamako gets Messiah, which implies that Hamako is superior over Minato. Totally. But we realized this. Only my girlfriend knew this because she's actually played Persona 3. But you can only get Orpheus Telos by maxing out all of your social links. So, obviously, Persona Q2 was, like, breaking some rules. And it wasn't... They kind of rewrote Orpheus Telos as, like, an ultimate persona. Like, he's not a persona that you unlock by all the social links anymore. He's just kind of his own ultimate persona now. But, we, like, tried to, like, think of the implications of this. The implication is that Minato has unlocked all of his social links. He's maxed them out. I meant unlock. Idiot. That he has maxed out all of his social links. And she was like, wait, that would mean that the harem route for him is canon. Because, in case you don't know, in his home game... My girlfriend's texting me. Shut up. Okay, so, this is the because, in case you don't get it, in Persona 3, you can't max girls' social links without romancing them. You have no choice. You can't refuse them. And for, female main character, this doesn't apply. She is able to... She can choose whether she wants to romance guys or not. But Minato can't. He doesn't have that freedom. Poor boy. So, yeah, just some implications of his ultimate persona being Orpheus Telos. Which is basically just shiny Orpheus. Hold on. Let me take a break to text my girlfriend. I'm gonna text her fat rip. Because she's talking about something she does not want to do. Do you guys like how I draw? Do you guys like how this took me like an hour because I've been distracted by talking about things I don't like about Persona Q2? Because I sure do. Uh-oh. Okay. There's my notes. I already talked about that. Okay. Something I did not like about the freaking hub area So, every single breathing minute of their lives, the characters always want to remind you that you are full on personas. I am so tired of it. I hate it so much. I hate the frickin' every time they will say, hey, you're full on personas. I know, I am aware that I am full on personas because they are in my head. It is so annoying. I hate it so much. And I want them to die. Pretty much all I got to say on that. Okay. This is my last point on my little notes list, unless I remember something else. This will pretty much be the last point of the video. So the ending. I really liked the ending. Despite all of the negatives I've said about its story, how Minato and Hamiko got like no interactions, how blah 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 blah, I don't know. I've mostly been talking about Minato and Hamiko in this video. I liked the ending. I liked that Hikari didn't turn out to be dead. Like, she's like alive. She's like a reverse Rei. Rei is like a living person inside a dead spirit. And Hikari is like a dead spirit inside a living person. I kind of liked how she was just basically a reverse Rei. Okay, so the ending, once again, they don't remember, they won't remember once they leave the world, which was expected from the start because it's a Persona Q game. And it's weird. The timeline will be weird if they remember, so obviously they can't. And, okay. I don't know, the ending was, it was basically like Persona Q's. They're all saying heartfelt goodbyes. They're like, oh, despite us not remembering this, it'll always be in our hearts or something like that. And we all know that it's tragic because they will never see Shinjiro, Minato, or Hamiko again, and Goro will die. So we all know how that turns out. I'm sorry for that. But I liked the ending. And I liked the final cutscene where it turns out Hikari's pretty much in the, she's in the Persona 5 universe, that's where she comes from. And they're, like, watching her movie. And it appears Akira recognizes her. Like, I think it's, like, a common, like, I don't know, headcanon or, AU/theory, I don't know, that the wild cards are the only ones who remember the events of Persona Q and Persona Q2. And it seems that's what implies, or at least Akira recognized her, and he was like, whoa. So yeah, I like the ending. They got to watch Hikari's movie, except Goro wasn't there for some reason. Maybe he died or something, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't like how Goro wasn't there. But, other than that, it was a good ending. Is there anything else I have to say? Which of the two games is better, you may ask? If I'm gonna be honest, I did have fun with Persona Q2. I really did. But I think Persona Q is superior. Like, I think the way I can word it, I think there was a lot more heart put into Persona Q than Persona Q2. And Persona Q2 still looks pretty good. Despite what I've said about, like, the graphics and stuff, I do think it looks pretty good, and would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. It can be fun. Be a fun game. But I feel like Persona Q was just more fun. I had more fun with it. Maybe it was just because I barely knew anything about 3 and 4, that it was just kind of a breath of fresh air. But I don't know. And I think it might help that it had, like, Persona Q had, like, English voices, and Persona Q2 not having a dub didn't ruin my experience at all. The voice acting was still good, despite me not being able to recognize what they're saying. I mean, I can read. I have eyes. But Persona Q, I will never forget. I will never forget Ray. I love her so much. And Zen. I love him too. So, basically my end note is play Persona Q. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say. How did this video turn out? I barely drew because I got distracted by talking. This is probably why I don't do videos like this anymore, because it gets really boring to watch. But, you know, just shut up. That's pretty much it. Experience the Persona Qs.